Today we're going to talk about quite possibly the worst character creation option in Fantasy Flight games, Star Wars RPG, Edge of the Empire. In the core rulebook, Explore Career, we have the Fringer talent tree. Now the Fringer is sold to us as a jack-of-all-trades kind of a tree. And it's just one, a lie. Two, the trades that it does give us, there's very little support in most cases, except for like one, maybe two. And the trades that we do get support in, like, they're not overly useful. Like, at least one of them should be kind of a bigger one, maybe. Let's start. Okay, so first of all, we have this really weird structure. There's like this big old L shape, and then there's this like chunk. Like, they kind of fit together, but in the upper left corner, this is your piloting astrogation section, and the rest is the... I don't know what this is. I don't know what this big old L-shaped thing is, but it's basically useless. You know what this whole thing feels like? It feels like a supplemental tree, like the Jedi Exile or the Rebel Recruit or one of those supplemental universal specializations they had early on, which is weird because the current day universal specs, basically every universal spec after that, started to feel like its own tree and less of a supplemental specialization. This one is supposedly a real talent tree, and it just feels like a supplemental thing. Okay, so let's start with the piloting astrogation crap. Do we at least get piloting as a career? Yeah, we get piloting space as a career skill. We get astrogation. We can double up on free ranks in that, so that's fine, I guess. I don't know how big of a skill astrogation really is in most campaigns. I mean, I guess every once in a while you do the chase thing, and then you roll astrogation to see how many rounds you have to survive before the hyperspace thing works. Maybe if you roll crappy, you can end up in some other side of the galaxy, or the system, or the planet, and that kind of screws up. Like, we're supposed to hyperspace to a stealthy place where they couldn't see us, but they saw us because you rolled bad. Oh no, and then, exciting action happens. Like a spaceship stealth skill, I guess you could think of astrogation in that way. Anyway, we get some help with that. Quicker time doing the astrogation checks, and also basic dice pool manipulation. You're just a little better with your astrogation checks. The other talent, I guess the big navigation talent we get, is Master Starhopper, which it is actually a really good talent at a very relatively low cost. You're not losing much, not really. You can make this check a lot easier than normal. Any astrogation check easier than normal. So yeah, you're going to be really good at astrogation. I don't know how much that really matters, but it's nice. Actually, if this were a jack-of-all-trades tree, the astrogation stuff is perfectly solid. If they had that level of support for like 3 other things, maybe one of them a bit more useful, like combat or talking or healing, as far as I'm concerned, the trifecta, the holy trinity of RPGs. There's always going to be someone to talk to, which means there's always going to be someone to shoot, which means there's always going to be someone to heal. That's tabletop RPGs, the bread and butter, the most intuitive content to make for the GMs and the players. It's naturally going to happen most often. Shoot, heal, talk. We technically do have a bit of that in the form of a little bit of a combat focus, sort of, not really. It's mostly defense. We have one bit of offense-ish. What it does is it takes a little bit of the brawl skill check, with a natural part of brawl, because they have like 3 or 4 different things you could do with brawl that's just naturally built into there. If you're a brawl-focused character, look it up and know what you're able to do. But with this, you take a bit of that, sort of, and you put it onto melee. So with melee attacks, with your melee weapons, you can knock people down. So we got a little bit of crowd control kind of thing. When people are prone, other people will have bonuses to their attack checks against them, so that'll help out the team attacking them. It's fine, I guess. The rest is all just defense. We have an average, solid amount of toughened and grit. We have a little bit of help with dealing with your critical injuries, just 1 rank of 1 talent. We have a couple ranks of dodge, which is a wonderful active talent, which can help you against any type of attack, really. And in order to help fuel that, we have some decent help with our strain management. We can heal strain a bit better, plus the grit is perfectly acceptable. So we have pretty good defense. No real offense. The only offense we have, just makes melee a little more brawl-ish. That's alright, I guess. Take the strengths of brawl, or a little bit of the strength of brawl, just a little bit, put it onto melee, combine it with the strengths of melee, and that's fine, I guess, except for the fact that we do not get melee as a career skill. We get no combat skill as a career skill. Jack of all trades character, you would think that we would have the well-rounded talent so that we could take 2 career skills. One of them could be a combat skill. This would start to feel like a jack of some trades, I guess. We get a little bit of help with streetwise and knowledge checks, and we also get some piloting help, which is actually pretty decent. Roughly on par-ish, not quite as good, but still pretty good help with the astrogation stuff, so basic dice pool help with your piloting checks in general. And the biggest thing helping us with piloting is that we're a bit more defensive when we fly, so that's pretty good. It's like having a free layer of shields on your ship or vehicle or whatever it is, so it's fine. I'm just not really sure what you do with this. Like, what are you doing on a regular basis? Because it depends on campaigns how often the pilot is actually doing the piloting stuff. Astrogation, it's hard to say how much that will come into play to be interesting. How many times are you actually going into hyperspace while you're in a vehicle? It's a more specific example of something that isn't likely to happen too much, or it depends on the campaign. Like anyone with a piloting focus, you kind of have to go out of your way as a player, and I guess as a GM, to make sure that there's some vehicle option that you can somehow integrate into your mission, your goal, your plans, whatever. We use a hover mining cart to sneak in somehow or whatever. I don't know. And when you're not doing that, which could be a decent amount of time, what are you doing? Street smarts, knowledge, underworld? There's probably someone else who's better at it. There's all sorts of survival, smuggler. You get so little help, what's the point? Like, so what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to do like a strong agility, a strong cunning, a strong intellect? 3s in those, and then maybe 3 in brawn, because they're supposed to be a supposed melee focus. Is that what they're telling you to do? I don't know how much you're really going to get out of that. Don't play the Fringer, but if you're going to play the Fringer for some reason, I guess the build to go with would be a 4 in agility. You'll be good at piloting, and you'll be good at shooting people, which, you know, just ignore that melee talent. I mean, you can't ignore it. You have to pick it up along the way to dodge. Those dodges are going to be pretty good. And then like a 3 in intellect or 4 in intellect. Don't play this tree. There's really no good reason. The help with strain means that you can strain yourself to do more maneuvers, but like there's plenty of trees that have good help with strain, and also they can do stuff as well, like other stuff. And this tree is it's really lame. And it didn't have to be. You know, if they just had some decent combat talents in this section, not just the defense, but like a little bit of offense, I don't know, deadly accuracy, a rank or 2 of true aim, this actually might have been pretty decent. A pilot navigator who can fight. But the only offense talent we get is melee, and we don't get any of that crap as career skills. Maybe a Clatuinian from the Hired Gun Career Sourcebook. If you have to play one of these, I guess play them, because they can actually double up on combat skills. One of 3 different combat skills. They can double up on it as long as they aren't career skills at creation. So it wouldn't be melee, though you could get a rank in it. But you could double up on range heavy or light, get yourself an appropriate blaster. 4 in agility, you can fly good, you can shoot good. You'll have 2 yellow, 2 green in your dice pool right out of the gate as a Clatuinian. Someone who has no real good offensive capability whatsoever. You'll be pretty good because of that species. And 3 or 4 in intellect to help with navigation, I guess. Or, I don't know. This sucks, don't play it. The only reason someone would take this, I guess, is maybe as a supplemental pilot tree. If you're an explorer and you want a supplemental pilot stuff thing going on, I guess a lot of that stuff is early, and it's pretty good. Master Starhopper is really great as far as astrogation goes. If you're a non-explorer character, maybe Smuggler Pilot might be a better supplement. And you don't get as much cool stuff early on, or it depends on your viewpoint. There's also piloting offensive stuff in there. You can really, like, if you like the piloting stuff, focus on it and be even better. If it turns out you really like the pilot that you've branched off into to supplement your current stuff, whatever that is, and you took Fringer to do that, well, you have a pretty early expiration date. There's only so many talents there. They're early on, which might be nice and convenient for what you want to do. As a short, quick supplement, they'd work, especially if you're already playing an Explorer character, but not a lot of Explorer trees are that amazing to... I don't know. It's... Yeah, you probably don't want to... Don't play it. Don't play it. Don't play it. Alright, bye.